So once you install Teradata on your machine, you will get VMware Workstation or VMware Player icon here. You can double click on VMware Player or Workstation, whatever you have installed. And it will open the machine which you have installed, the XP Service Pack 3 as a guest machine you have installed, so that you can power on. Okay, so once you followed instructions of the installation guide and installed Teradata on your machine, so this is the process how we have to open every day. So the Windows XP machine is starting. This is the virtual machine we installed yesterday. Yes, Charan, do you have a question? So I didn't give any password for my Windows XP machine, so it is just a login. Just click on administrator, I have logged in, and this is my XP machine. You can see the difference, right? Minimize this so that you can see both the machines. This is my Windows 7 machine, and this is my XP machine. Okay. And this is the Teradata service control. Double click on service control. Okay. It will open a window with Start Teradata button. Just click on Start Teradata. Okay. Every day, please remember you have to open the service control and start the Teradata. That means you are starting the service engine of Teradata. The Teradata server is starting in your machine, local machine, and once it is started, then only you can connect through different client utilities. Okay, there are several client utilities like Teradata SQLAssistant, fast load, fast export, VTech, multi-load, all those client utilities and tools you can use and connect to the Teradata server. But before any client tool you open, you have to ensure the service is up and running. See here, PD state is running. Okay, and then the next status what you are going to get is Teradata is running. Okay, until then you have to wait. Yes, Bikash.
Hi Manoj. Actually, this one is not working for me. See, when I'm clicking the start teradata, it's showing the that means the PD state is down or slash something saying showing, and it's not showing that teradata is running.
So did you follow the same process, right? The one by one installations.
Yeah, I did
If
that.
you miss any of the component like Binet or PD, if you miss any of the things, it will stuck off. So if that is the case, then you have to uninstall all the components whatever you install, and you have to try it again in the same sequence what is mentioned in the installation guide.
Okay, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah. Okay. So once you start it, it will show the status as Teradata is running, and the button toggle to stop Teradata itself. Earlier it was start Teradata, now it is stop Teradata, and Teradata status is running. Okay, so once you ensure the status, then you can start any of the client tool. Okay, so now let me open the client tool from all programs. Okay, once you install, you'll get Teradata client utilities, then Teradata SQLAssistant. Let's open that. So this is one of the easy GUI Teradata client tool to connect to the Teradata server. The most frequently used, you can say. So once you ensure the Teradata service is up and running, where is my service? Oh, did I close that? Sorry. Okay, teradata is running. See, inside of this teradata is running. Just minimize it, and now you open the SQL Assistant, the client tool, and you see the connect button here. Just try to connect, and you go to machine data source in the tab, and here you will see TD user as a DSN. Okay, for you there will be very less DSNs. Okay, I have created so many for my purpose, but you see TD user as a default DSN installed along with your demo version. Just click on that. You will be connected as TD user to the SQL. So TD user is the default user which is installed along with your demo version, and TD user is the DSN also. The password is also TD user. Okay, the user name is TD user, the password is TD user, the DSN name is also TD user. Okay, no confusion, everything is same. So we are going to connect teradata with the username called TD user. Okay, it is connecting. It's taking a long time. This is up and running. Okay. It took one more time. This time it got connected now, and when you initially logged in, you won't have any databases. It will be shown like this: DBC and TD user only. Okay, and when you install this Teradata demo version, you will get default databases, right? Financial or retail. You can use any of these. Financial. Just click on add database here by clicking right, by doing a right click in the database explorer, add database, then financial. Exact spelling. The case sensitivity not a matter, but the spelling should be exact. Financial. FIMANCIAL. Just click on this. The financial database will be added here in the database explorer window for you. And when you click on this, you will see all the tables available for you for your practice. So this is how you can query. Select star from financial is the database, accounts is the table name. Just click on execute button here, so it will show you the answer here. Okay, so query window, database explorer, and the answer set windows. These are different windows here in query map. Any questions up to here? Anyone? Moving forward. Any questions up to here? Yes. Kaushik.
Yeah, I'm Noor.
Right.
Initially you are opening the teradata servers, am I right?
Yeah.
So will the same servers will be available in production system too? Service
Yes, in
control?
production. In production also there will be a server, but it is not on the same machine on which you are working.
Okay.
That will be a different server which is maintained in different locations. You will be connecting through ODBs.
Yeah, no, I'm asking about the teradata service control. Like how the DBA will be opening the service? Is it they'll be having the same tool to open the
No, no.
service?
See, here we are opening it and we are closing it, but in general, Teradata service control is not open and closed by DBS. Okay, it is always running 24/7 in production. It's not an
Okay.
activity of a DBA to daily come and open it, okay, because it is 24/7. It should be available for all the users. Once it is started by the Teradata corporation people, once the configuration is done, it always up and running.
Okay, so if there is any issue also, probably it should be teradata people who will be taking care of these things.
Yes, if there is any downtime of any
So,
nodes or anything, then corporation people will come and they will resolve those tickets.
Yeah, because I thought that in Oracle we'll be having something known as that listener control and all the things we'll be opening it out. So
No.
that's what I just asked. Thanks.
So this is how you can connect to the teradata machine and you can query the tables. So we'll see some other options in query menu itself. You see tools menu here. Okay. So for the first time, okay, in real time when you join a project in Teradata, you will be given this client utility queryman. Okay, they will install you the Teradata ODBC and the queryman on your machine, and they will ask you to connect to the production server. Okay, what the information they will provide you, the username for you which is created to connect to the Teradata server, and the server name, the host name you can call, the host name or server name on which Teradata is installed. So these are the two informations, okay, will be given to you and you have to connect to Teradata server. So for the first time when you open SQL Assistant, you have to use this define ODBC data source. Here you have to create a new DSN with your user ID and with the server name, right? So you have to click on add, then select Teradata ODBC here in the create new data source window. Okay, once you install the queryman and the ODBC, it will appear here Teradata as a ODBC. Click on finish and you can write down any of the name for the DSN what you are going to create. DSN for development something, development server. Description, user defined things. You can do any you can write anything for your reference purpose. And here you have to write the server name. Okay, if it is a production server, they will have some name. Okay, if it is a development, if it is UAT, they will have different names for different servers. They will give you those names. You can type here. For here, the server name is local TD. For all the demo version of Teradata, the server name is local TD. Or if you want IP address, you can use 127.0.0.1. Anyone is fine. Both are same. Okay, 127.0.0.1 represents the local host machine always. Okay, and this local host machine is overridden with the name called local TD. You can use any of these, name or IP address. Okay. And then whatever username created for you to log on to this particular server. Okay, for here, for the demo version, the username is TD user and password is TD user. Click on OK. So these are the only details what you require here in the creation of DSN. The host name, the user ID and password. That's it. Click on OK. It gives a warning that you are going to save the password also in the DSN, which is not required, okay, which is not preferred actually. But if you are sure that you are alone going to use the system, yes, you can save it. Otherwise, you don't need to save this. Every time you can give the password at the time of logon. There are two ways. Okay. Now I have created the DSN. Okay, let me connect through the DSN. Okay. So what is the connect button here? Connect machine data source. What the DSN I have created? DSN underscore dev. Click on OK. Okay, now I am connecting with the DSN underscore dev, which is created upon the user TD user. In real time, whatever server you are going to connect, you can give that name, and whatever user ID you have, you can use that user ID and create the DSN and connect. Okay. So now this is the database explorer you get for DSN dev. The user is TD user. See the thumb lines. Here again you can connect the add database. Right click in the database explorer window, add database, use financial or retail. This time let us use retail. This financial and retail are the default databases which are installed along with your demo version. You can use them. See retail tables. See, these are the number of tables which are already there, and I have created some of them. Everything is here. So let's start from retail.area. Okay. So here there are techniques like you can place the cursor and you can select the object whatever you want to type, and you can right click on this, you can use quick paste, so the object name is pasted here. So for example, I'm writing a query like select star from retail. Okay, if it is a long database name, I don't want to type it, you can click on that object, right click, quick paste, then dot, place the cursor at what place you have to display this keyword or something, just select it, right click and paste. So this is how you can use this tool, by right clicking on it, by right clicking on the object and quick paste, so that the object name will be displayed here at what place we have mentioned the cursor. So this is how you can use it. So that is the define ODBC data source, where you can define it, or if you want to change the existing DSN, you can select that existing DSN and you can configure it. It will show you what are the details given earlier, and if you want to change the username, you can do it, you can change the server, you can do it, you can change the password if you want. Whatever information you want to modify here, you can modify it and click on OK, so that the changes will be reflected here. So you can add it, or you can delete it, or you can configure it. Configure means changes to the existing DSL. Add means creating new DSL. Remove means we will be dropping the DSL. Okay, so these are the actions what you can do on DSN: create it, remove it, or configure it. And then these are the connect button and disconnect buttons. These menu items are given here also. See, connect button and disconnect. If you want to disconnect from this user, just click on this, it will be disconnected, and if you want to connect, you can use the connect and you will get the DSN to be selected. Okay, so that is about connectivity. Then there is an important menu called tools options. Okay, let me tell you some one-time settings what you need to do. Options. So there are several tabs here. General, code editor, query, answer set, export, import, history, and file path. These are several tabs, and there are several options which we generally use frequently. We'll see them. So the first option in general is allow connections to multiple data sources in the query window. What does it mean? Okay, you can connect to different servers at the same time through a single SQLAssistant session. Okay. By default, it is not selected for you, but you can select this in such a way. Okay. Once you select this, you can connect to multiple servers. Okay. For example, if I don't have this, okay, and once I connect to the machine, once I connect to my server, this connect button is disabled. So you are not able to connect any new machines in the same session because the connect button is disabled. So here connect is disabled because I have connected to one server. So one server I have to use for all the purposes. Right? But now I want to compare the data from production to UAT, for example. Then I have to connect two different teradata sessions, the SQLAssistant sessions, and I have to compare the results from the production server to UAT server. Right? But here there is an option where you can connect both the servers through the same SQLAssistant session. How you can do that? Tools, options, in general, just select this allow connections to multiple data sources. Click on OK. Now if you see, the connect button is enabled even though it is connected to one server. That means it is allowing you to connect to multiple servers at the same time. So you can connect to another server. Let me connect to DevTerra. It could be different server or with the same server with different user. It could be anything. I'm trying to connect two different servers through SQLAssistant at the same time. See, here one user is Devtera, and okay, the user is same, TD user and TD user, but the DSNs are different. So in the DSNs you may use different servers also. So finally you connected two different servers through same SQL assistant, right? Okay. Whatever accesses this particular user have, those access cannot be, cannot be hold good for this user. So you can use different SQLs here. Okay, this is the query window for Devtera. This is the query window for DSN Dev. So you have to observe, okay, through which user you are executing the queries. If different user or different server itself, then you can identify two query windows here. One is for the Devtera and another is for DSN Dev. Okay. It could be different servers. You can type the queries corresponding to that particular user. You can get the results. So for example, this is the production server and this is the development server, UAT server. So I am getting the result here as answer set 1, and then I am executing the same query on production and I got answer set 2. Now I can compare it, right? So both are together and I want to compare the data here side by side. I can do that, right? So this is the production server, this is the UAT server. I have executed same query on both the servers. I got the result. I can compare it if there is any issue in UAT and production refreshments or something. So this is how you can allow multiple connections to be done through a single SQL assistant window. Okay, and then the next option, allow multiple queries per connection. Okay. So what does it mean if you don't have this enabled? Okay. You cannot have multiple query windows opened. That means for same DSN Dev, I want multiple query windows to be open. Now what I can do, tools, options, just select this, allow multiple, click on OK. You see one new button coming here, new query. Okay. You can click on that so that it will open up a new query window for you. This is the old query window what you are using, but you want to have a new query window to type your queries. You don't want to write the queries in the same window now. You have written 3 queries here. You don't want to write any more SQLs here in this window. You want a new fresh query window. Now what you can do, you can click on this new query so that a new tab of query window will be opened. You can type your queries here of different subject. Okay, so because you are working on 2 different dimensions or something, all the dimension related queries are written here and the next dimension queries are written here on the same server. Okay, like this. Within a single server, you can get multiple query windows by selecting tools, options. In general, the second option, allow multiple queries per connection. That means tabs in a query window. You will get different tabs. If you don't want tabs, you just deselect it. This button is disappeared here. See, so you cannot create no more new windows, query tabs. If you want it, just go tools, options, allow multiple queries. Click on OK. You will get the button enabled here. Click on this, you will get one more query window, like this. So this is how you can get multiple query windows. Okay. And leave these things. And here you see the display pattern of null values. Okay. In teradata RDBMS, if any data value is null and if you want to represent a null value in the result set, it will be displayed as a question mark. Okay. If you observe here, when I'm getting the result of any of the query, you see the result, some columns are giving question mark. What does it mean, question mark here in teradata? Question mark in teradata and this SQL assistant means null value. Okay, whenever there is a null value, the null value is represented with a question mark. Okay, how it is represented with the question mark? That is the option here what we set. You want to display it as some different, for example, this is the value you want to display whenever the data value is null. You can give this, click on OK. Then see, all nulls are represented with a null. Okay, so there is an option for you how you want to see the null values. By default it is question marks always, but if you want to change the null value to be represented as a question mark, okay, you can change it with tools, options. Here you can see whatever value you want to represent a null. Click on OK. And now see, all the nulls are represented as question marks. So this is the default value for null in Teradata SQL Assistant. You can change it if you want. And the date formats, the displayable date format is YYYYMMDD. That is year number along with the century. That is 4 digits of year, 2 digits of month, and 2 digits of date, separating by hyphens in between. So this is the way how all dates are displayed in Teradata SQL Assistant. You see the date format here. All the date values are represented in YYYY-MM-DD. Okay, if you want to see it in a different format, yes, you can change it. Tools, options. If you want to make it like MMDD YYYY. That is the format if you want to see the data. And click on OK. And now see the data. It is in MMDD YYYY format with a slash separated dates. You can change it. By default it has YYY MMDD. Okay. So these are some of the things which may get into requirements, like whenever the users ask for you, okay, to do analysis and to give the date format like this, null values to be represented as no value or something. You can change these values and use a separate answer window for each result set or each query. Okay, generally it is each query. Whenever you say each result set, okay, a answer window is separated, okay, once you complete execution of all the queries. Okay, for example, to mention each result set, and if I want to execute all the queries together, say all the queries are executed and you get all the results in the same window, same answer set window. Right? So these are the answer set windows. Let me close all the answer sets whatever we have open. Okay, there are options actually, okay, how you want to display your answer set windows and all. So let me close for now. Let me close all answer sets. Okay, how did I close? File, close all query tabs and close all answer windows. You will get close all answer windows also. When you have multiple answer windows open, you can click on that. You will close all the answer sets. You see window, there are no answer windows open here, only 2 query windows. Okay. Now I would like to execute all the queries at once. I have selected all of them. The result is like this. All the query results are given in same answer set window. Even though there are 3 different queries, the answer set is 1, so all the answer set is shown in a single window. But if you want to separate the answer set windows for each query, you have to use the default option of for each query. Use a separate answer set window for each query. Click on OK. And now if I execute all these 3 queries together, you will get 3 windows. See, 3 answer sets. The first query, first answer set, second query, second answer set, third query, third answer set. Okay, so you are able to merge the answer sets in a single window, or you can make it separate, okay, by using this option each query you separate the answer window. Okay, if you give never, whatever query you execute, everything will be spooled into the same answer set window. Okay, generally don't use. Okay, the option, generally used option is each query. For each query you want to have a separate answer set window. If you have any requirement to spool all the results in the same answer set, yes, you can go for either never or each result set. So for each execution or for all the executions, you get a single answer set. So application style, you can select it is like an Office 2003, or if you want to blue marks, black marks, silver themes, you can select the theme of the answer set window here. Generally it is Office 2003. You can select any one of them, change it. So the theme is different here to see the blue color. Okay, you can change those options. It is default. The font you can select larger font, largest font, or standard font you want to display here. Okay. And then code editor is the next option. Okay, this is how to display the queries in our code editor, that is SQL window. Okay, automatic syntax highlighting. Okay, that's where how it is showing you the query. Okay, all blue colors, the keywords are in blue color, the user defined words are in brown color, where the semicolon is in red color, the star is in black color. Okay, how it is getting all these colors based on the syntax? Because of these options in code editor. Automatically syntax highlighting. You can select any one of these things to display for the display purpose of query window. Okay, if you want to get keywords and functions to display in blue color, okay, but you don't want blue color, okay, you are interested in to see it in some other different green color, for example. So all these keywords will be displayed in green color. So these are some editor options which you can select. Select option. Let me go with blue now. The default color for syntax is blue. So these all are code editor options where you can see, okay, how you can size, how you can do the margins and what words to be displayed in which color. If there is any string or number, it is displayed in this color. If you want to change it, you can change it. So these things are for cosmetic purpose. Okay. And then query window. Okay, there are three important options here to see. In query window, the first option is close answer set window before submitting a new query. Okay, if I select this, what it does, before I submit another query, it will close all the before SQL answers. Okay. So at that time, I can see only one answer set always. If I select this, okay, for example, if I select this close answer set window before submitting a new query, if I am executing this, it will close all the answer set windows and it has one answer set, right? And now I'm not closing it, but I'm executing one more query here. And now I want to see the previous answer set. Can I see? If you want to go for previous answer set, it won't be appear because the previous answer set is closed before opening the new answer set of the new query execution. Because at any particular time you will see only one answer set if you choose this option of close answer set window before submitting a new query. Generally, we have to submit multiple queries and we have to compare the answer sets. So we generally don't select this option because we have to have multiple answer windows open so that we can do our analysis and we can come to a conclusion. Right? So we generally don't select this close answer set windows. Okay. So disconnect from database when no query is running. Okay. If you use this after some particular threshold of time, it will disconnect the database automatically. Yeah, it's a best practice actually. You can use this. Otherwise, it's not a problem. You no need to use this. You can disconnect yourself whenever you want. Okay, and there is a database option also actually, where it will see the idle session for some time, and once the session is idle for 15 minutes or 60 minutes, I mean whatever time they set, after that time the session is already aborted. So you no need to use this option here. And then minimize SQL Assistant while query is running. Okay, so the SQL Assistant window will be minimized whenever you execute a query. For example, if I select this, just now I selected, if I select this and if I am executing a query, the SQL Assistant is minimized automatically. I don't need to minimize this. Okay, so if I know that each query, whatever I execute, it takes long time, what we generally do, we execute this and we will minimize the query and we'll do other work, right? So you can set that option here so that while execution of the query, it will minimize this window and keep it as a smaller icon, and you can go with your work, and after you complete your work in hand, you can come here and can open the answer set. Okay. So whenever I execute, it is minimized. The query is executing, but the query window is minimized. Okay. So these are the things which you can try. And then stop query execution if an SQL error occurs. Okay, you have to select this, because if you have multiple queries to be executed, if one of the query is wrong, then the next query should not be executed. For example, that is your requirement that you are executing 3 SQLs, and whenever an SQL is wrong here, for example, there is no object like this, I'm just querying it, okay, I want to execute these 3. So what should happen? Whenever a query is failed, then I no need to execute this query, right? So if you want to stop the execution whenever a failure occurs, you can select this option. Stop query execution if an SQL error occurs. If you don't select this, even though there is an error, it will continue execute the remaining statements. If you have such type of requirement, yes, you can deselect it. If you want to stop the query whenever a failure occurs, yes, you can select this option. Okay. And then there is the important option you see. Submit only the selected query text when highlighted. Okay, so by default it is not selected. We have to select it for the first time. Submit only the selected query text when highlighted. What does it mean? Okay, in general, what happens if I execute the query here, it executes all the queries in the window, right? If I execute, we will try to execute all the queries. But I want to execute only the query which I selected here like this. I want to execute only this query. How I am able to execute only this query even though there are some other queries appear in the same window? Because of this option, submit only the selected query text when highlighted. Whenever I highlight, only that particular highlight part is executed even though there are multiple queries written in the same window. If I don't select this, what happens? Even I select this and execute, it will try to execute all the SQLs like this. See, it has executed all the SQLs. If you observe, let me close all the answer set windows. So now there are no answer set windows and there is no error. For example, I have selected only the third SQL to run. I am submitting it, but it is executing all the queries. Why it is executing all the queries even though I have highlighted? Because the option is not selected here to submit only the selected highlighted part. I have to select this, then what happens? It executes only the selected part of query. This is a new answer set. To make it clear, let me close all answer sets. So now there are no answer sets. If I execute the selected part, only one answer set will be executed. See, there is only one answer set for one query which I have highlighted because of the option submit only the highlighted query. So these are some important options in query window. Coming to answer set tab. Okay, in the answer set, you can say display alternative answer sets row in different colors. Okay? Because here when you are seeing answer set, all answer set are in the same color. Okay, if you want to make an alternative row with a different color highlight, you can use this option. So in answer set, display alternative answer set row in color. So it will be appear in green color. Let us see. We execute this query. The answer set is appear like this. Each alternative color row, each alternative row is highlighted in green color. So it is a different pattern of looking at the data, where you will feel more interested to see the data. Some colors and alternative rows are in different color. If you want, you can use these options. And display grid lines in future answer set windows. All the grid lines you are looking at the answer set, it is appearing as an Excel sheet, right, with the grid lines and all. If you don't want these grid lines, you can deselect this option. Execute. There is no grid lines appear. Everything in the same row. You want to appear it as an Excel sheet format with the grid lines, yes, you can select that. Display column titles rather than column names. While creating the table, you can give titles for each column, so that those titles will be displayed here as the header instead of the column names. You can use that. And maximum number of answer rows to display is 1000. That means, okay, when I'm executing this query, there are 1500 rows, and after 1000 rows, it is asking me, do I need further data or not? Why it is asking me? Because I have set that option. Even though there are millions of data, I'm most over interested to see only 1000 data always. So I can set that option of display only 1000 records each time when I execute a query, so that, okay, I can stop process of the query after I get 1000 records. Then it will ask you an option. Do you want to stop or go further? You can stop it, or you want to go further, you can click on no, so that it will fetch all the data, millions of data if it has. Okay. So by default, there is an option available for you. After how many records you can stop the pulling of the data. Generally, you can put 1000 or you can put 100 also. If I put 100, even though there are 1500 records in this table, after 100 records, it will give me a message. Okay, result set contains total 1500 rows. Cancel at 100 rows in accordance with settings. Yes, I want only 100 records. Then yes, click on yes. If you want all 1500 records, you click on no. Whatever option you want by that time. I want only 100 records, so I click on yes. I will get only 100 records. Let me use grid lines. It's not. And alternative color is not required for me. The 100 records. A number of decimal places to be displayed in the decimal numbers, floating numbers. Maximum 2 digits. If you want 10 digits to be displayed in the precision values, as you can change it. You can change it to 4, 5, whatever number of digits in the precision of the decimal you want to see, you can use this. Okay. Then export and import, where you can export some data from SQLAssistant itself. Okay. So let me take a pause and see if you have any questions so far. Yes. Anindya.
Yeah, Manohar.
Yeah. Your question?
No, I do not.
Okay. Yes. Kaushik, you can unmute yourself. You muted yourself.
Yeah. Hi, Lord. I just want to know, because you're telling like if we are having three statements, three select statements,
Mm-hmm.
if the second statement is not proper, it will be stopping at the time. Am I right? Like
Yes.
it will not be proceeding with further select statements.
Yes.
But what I just want to have these three statements as batch. If we is there an option to do that one? I'm not sure whether you'll be covering here, but just to ask you, because I just
Your voice is breaking, Kaushik. Man, can you be louder? Are you using your
yeah.
headphones?
No. So I'm just using I'm using a mic, separate mic, yeah. Now you able
Okay.
to hear me?
Yeah, little better, but I mean, it could be more clarity. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's fine. Yeah, tell me.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to understand. I want to execute these three statements as a batch. How to do it?
As a
Like
batch.
begin, yeah, as a batch, like begin and end or something like that.
Uh-huh. So you can do it in VTech actually. Okay.
Oh, it's in B.
Yeah.
Okay.
VTech is the batch tool where you can execute set of SQLs as a single batch results. Okay. And here, if you want to execute it as a single transaction, actually here we have BT and ET mode. Begin transaction and end transaction. Okay. So whatever SQLs you put it in between BT and DT, those all are
Okay.
batch.
Okay.
Begin transaction and transaction. See, all the three SQLs are executed as a single batch. Okay, even one statement is failed, all the statements are rolled back. Even though they executed
Roll back.
before that, everything will be rolled back. Is this what you are asking for a batch mode?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Because
this is the
yeah, this is what I was asking.
yeah. Okay, so this is how you can do it with begin transaction and end transaction, so that you are keeping all the SQLs as a single transaction. Even one statement failed, everything is rolled back. Okay, but what I explained was, if any SQL is wrong, it will execute up to here at least. Whenever it is failed,
Okay.
from failure point onwards, it won't execute any further SQL.
So every single statement will be a transaction now.
Yeah, every single is a single transaction and auto committed.
Okay.
Every SQL is an auto commit.
Auto. Okay.
If you give BTET, all the three statements will be considered as a single statement, and the commit will happen only after execution of all the statements.
Okay. Do we have commit statement within
No, we don't have commit. In Teradata, it is auto commit always.
the auto commit? Okay.
Okay, the ANSI mode you can
And
set it in the other tools like BTech. You can set ANSI mode and you can use commit word there. That is different.
commit word. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Manoj.
Yeah. Okay. Chandra. Chandra.
Yeah, Manohar, I have two questions. When you create the DSN, you give this local node, right? What happens if I have four nodes, and is there any single name for all the four node, or if I give only one node name, how that will execute?
See, for okay, so you are asking if it is an MPP system, then how I can connect to that system, right? Multiple node
Yeah,
system.
you in DSN, yeah. When you're creating the
Yeah,
DSN, you provided. Go ahead.
yeah. So this is to connect a system, not to a node, first of all. Okay. So if you have an MPP with multiple nodes, they will define a name for a combination of nodes. So that name you will use. So whenever you use that name, you are going to connect to the system at all. I mean system as a single machine, not to a single node of Teradata.
What happens if I give only one node or two nodes?
That's what I'm saying. So it is not the name of the node. It is the name of the system. Even though it has one node or if it has 10 nodes, this is the name of the system, not the node name.
Agre- Yeah, but what happens if I don't have the name?
If you don't have the name, you cannot connect. You have to get the name from your administrators or at least the IP address. If you don't know the name or IP address, you cannot connect to the system, right?
Because we had the same question yesterday in at my work. As I told you, we have new appliance, so we gave four node, but some guys are using only one node, node one, node two, node three, and they were asking some questions. So that's why I'm asking
See,
you.
the node 1, node 2, whatever they have given is the server name, not the actual node name. They may use the terminology, but it is actually the
Uh,
server name. If you see this Teradata server info, here you have to
uh-huh.
give this server info. It is not an individual node info.
I see. Okay. I don't know. I thought they gave all the unique IP addresses, Manohar.
Okay. So
So
yes, you can use
anyway,
those IP addresses.
okay. So
Okay. So
thank you.
here
Another
name or
question
IP
is,
address. Yeah.
thanks. Another question is, I want to create an empty user and an empty database, and that user should see only the data dictionary tables on the database. Is
Okay.
that
We'll
possible?
cover we'll cover this in administration part. Okay. How to create a user, how to create a database, how to give the access rights, how to limit the access rights. Everything we'll see in administration part.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Gosh. Okay, once your questions completed, you just drop your hands so that we will have less hands. Yes, because.
No, sorry, I don't have any questions. I think
Okay,
it
okay.
got.
Fine. Sharon. Sharon, have a question? Okay. Let me see one question here in chat window. Can you please show an example of column title so that I can understand the option between using title rather than column header? Okay, we'll see it in the SQL part. Okay, while we are starting our SQL portion of the teradata, okay, I will create a table with a title of column, and then we'll see how we can display the title or a column name. Okay, fine. Kaushik.
Yeah, hi Manohar.
Yeah.
Okay, just want to know could you just open the options tab?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Within that one, I have something called alternate schema. What is that actually? Because I was able to understand in general
Which one?
that use alternate schema to load the Explorer T for unknown vendors. What is that actually?
Where? In which?
Just third option.
In?
No, no, in general, third option.
In general. Okay.
In
Use
general, tab
alternate
third
schema for unknown vendors. Use alternate schema to load the Explorer tree. So this is regarding this database Explorer, the tree of the database schema. Okay, so use alternate schema to load the Explorer tree for unknown vendors. Okay, so if I'm also not very much sure about this option, but it is related to this database Explorer window, the tree option. How you want to display it for an unknown vendors. Okay, I'm not sure how to show this. This option, which we generally don't use.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so these are the things. So tomorrow we'll continue on this, and the updates would be like